Welcome back, everybody. So lately I've been watching videos on like everyday carry stuff, and then now I'm starting to get suggestions for traveler's notebooks. So I looked into that a little bit and I came across some videos. Everybody's talking about the traveler's journal brand journals, and they're actually really nice. It's like a nice leather cover, and it just has some elastic bands that you tuck in your notepad, and they have some other accessories that you can basically make it into like a journal / wallet thing. The smaller ones they offer, they call the passport size. Between buying the journal and buying the paper, and if you get the accessories for extra bands and all that kind of stuff, you're talking 45 to 60 whatever more dollars plus tax or whatever for something that I don't know if I'd actually use it. I like the concept and idea of it. I was thinking I have a lot of materials around here. I don't have any leather, and I actually thought about buying the leather to make my own because it's essentially just one piece of leather. But I thought, well, maybe I can make something that's a little bit more unique. So the idea today is I'm going to make essentially a cover to put my field notes, notepads in. I got a stack of these for Christmas one year, and I've never used them because they're just on the shelf and I don't think about it. So I figure if I make this journal thing, I can stick them in there, and at least I'll have them more readily available if I throw it in my lunch pail for work, or just throw them in my pickup truck or whatever. But my idea is I'm going to cut some of this fine, it's not quite an eighth of an inch wide ply they use for like laser projects. I'm going to cut a front panel, a back panel, and then probably something for the spine. I'm going to cover this with denim, but obviously denim has no structure, so if you have like a gap like where your spine would be, everything's going to be kind of floppy, flimsy. So essentially I'm just making a book cover, and then it's just, I don't know how I'm going to do the inside as far as the layout, but more or less I think I'm just going to adopt the idea of using like the elastic band thing. It was just, I just ordered some like 1/8 inch elastic cordage, and then I'll just put one of those, whatever they call them, that stopper things on there, so I can like adjust the tightness, and then it will pretty much be it. And then that way I can just make it however I want it, looks and all, and it's not really going to cost me anything but a little time. So, and perfect excuse for making a video. First thing I'm going to do is go jump on the computer on Lightburn and cut out my panels, and I got to figure out how thick I want it to be, because however thick that spine piece is, that's the thinnest it will be, you know. We'll see, but I'm going to go ahead and cut some pieces now, and then we'll get to the more interesting stuff. Alright, so I got my pieces cut. This was my idea initially. After thinking more on it, I don't know if I want that piece in there. I have this old leather belt. If I cut a strip, obviously this is too wide, but if I cut it down and glue that in the middle on the jean with this in my back pocket, it will bend a little bit as opposed to just sitting on that hard surface and potentially cracking and breaking it. But at least with this, it'll be fairly rigid enough to hold most of the shape, and even then the original one was all leather, and the cover is going to flex and move around, so this is actually probably going to be a lot more stiff than what their version is. So I'm going to cut a piece of this to fit, and then go about gluing the covers on, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the interior. Alright, so I got to figure out what size I want my fabric to be cut down to, and then what I want this to be. If I go with the same thickness as the spine was, that's about 3/4 of an inch. That's probably plenty big. I don't know if I want to go any bigger than that. I'm going to go cut that down, and then I'm going to trim this to probably enough so that I have at least like a 1/4 of an inch to wrap around and glue down. I'm going to trim that stuff down, and then I'll save you the trouble of watching all that, and we'll jump back into the gluing stage. Just kind of marking out my layout, because once I get the glue on, I don't want to have to move it around a bunch of different times. But this seems to work pretty good. That way I can see where I need to put my piece. Alright, so that's my layout. And I gotta remember to put my rounded corners outward. And I'm just gonna use some of this tacky glue. This is what I have on hand. I'm assuming this will work fine. It says it's for just about anything. Crafts, hobbies, and household repairs. I don't know what you would repair in your house with that, but when I put it down, I don't want it to be soaking through the fabric onto the face of it, because I don't want it to be all stained. So hopefully I get the right amount of glue down. Place one of these down. Hopefully, yeah, we got lots of material to go over the sides. Put something on it. Give it a little weight to it. That's pretty close. Make sure I left enough room for this to be in there. Yeah, that'll work good. Maybe a little place. I don't know if I'm exactly centered, but we're going with it. Alright, we got our glue on the spine. Make sure I get it kind of spaced into between the two evenly. Alright, well, I'm gonna let all this stuff dry. I'm gonna put some heavy things on top of it to help press it down good, and then we'll come back and see how it looks, and then start gluing or folding and gluing the edges around for the next step. Alright, so it looks like our glue is pretty much dry. It's going through my material bin here. I got some, I think it's like leather off of an old purse or something, or some type of bag. I think I'm going to cut a strip to cover this, because obviously that's pretty ugly. I'll put that over the center. I'll glue this down first, that way when I fold it over, the edges are going to be covered. Alright, I got my center piece put down. It's probably still drying a little bit. And then I still got to cut the corners. I'm not sure exactly how close to do this, because they're rounded. I don't know if that will work out well, but I basically want to cut some of this off. Committing. And like these are, some of these edges are fraying, but once we get it folded and glued over, hopefully that I can always run some glue along the edge to help seal that up as well. To go ahead and let that dry for the most part. Oh no, that wasn't dried at all, was it? That stinks. I can fix this. We can do it. Don't worry. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay. Alright, so we're all glued up. I got this glued down and I kind of tucked it in around the edges a little bit. If you can see that, it's so dark. And it closes nice. It is a little bit thicker than I originally hoped for. I kind of wanted something that was small enough I could stick in my back pocket and carry it with me and stuff. But now that it's like that, I'm afraid if I sat on it, it would crack, or will almost definitely crack this plywood. I mean, if the notepads were in there, that would actually give me a little bit more, it would be less likely to crack, I suppose, but it's still pretty thick. Anyway, at this point, I'm going to go and take some of this leftover material and cut some rectangles just to cover up my wood here, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with my mounting or how I'm going to hold my pads into the cover. Alright, go ahead and let that dry. Okay, so we got our cover all glued up. Everything looks nice. We do have a little bit of a fray action going on there, but I'm not worried about that. I've been walking around the house, looking through some stuff, seeing what I got laying around, and I came up, I found these pull string out of a hoodie or something, but it's pretty wide. I was thinking if I could use that as a, make a band out of it, like so, glue it together, and then maybe just leave a little bit hanging off, and then eventually it would just get frayed or whatever. But I'm just going to stick our cover in there, and then holds everything in place. Anyways, that would definitely hold stuff in there, so that's an option. The other thing I thought of, going with that same concept, I cut this off of one of the legs of the pants, wrap that around. Now I would just glue, pull that tight, and then like I said, glue down here, and if I wanted to I could take it off if I need to. I'll just slide off the side. But that actually looks kind of cool because it looks like a pair of pants. Obviously it's denim, but you know, that seam. And then also I was thinking too, if I wanted to get real serious about making it look like a pair of pants, I could go ahead and glue badge, or what do we call it, badge, or the brand logo thing on them, either the front or the back. But I feel like this should go on the back because it's, you know, whereas you always see that on the back of the pants, not on the front, so that should go on the back side. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue up some of these things, and really that'll be it until I can get some other things to put in there, figure out how I want to lay it out. But all right, so I got my materials glued together. I got my seam from the pants on the front, and then I got those two straps from that pull is glued up. I ended up using super glue because that's all I have. This looks pretty crude, but yeah, if you had like a sewing machine, that would give you a lot cleaner look. So yeah, sewing would be the better option. I don't have one, and that was the point of this build, is just kind of to make something out of all the things that you have available to you. And with having this strap, that allows me to just take some random piece of something you just want to stick in there. It gives you a place to hold it. I don't really know what I want to do about keeping it closed when I'm not using it. I was originally thinking it would look cool if I took like the button off the pants to that nature there. If I decide that I'm going to put this in my pocket, like if I go for a walk and I just want to have it with me, number one, this gives it's a lot thicker with that on there. I obviously only have two notebooks or notepads in there at the moment, but it'll be a little bit thicker. I take the two other ones that I'm going to have in there. Oops. Put that in there like that. Then you throw your pen in the back. I still might put a loop in there to hold the pen just as an extra precautionary thing. I don't think it'll fall out. But anyways, then you have put that back on. It's going to be fairly thick, and I don't know if I'm going to want that in my pocket, because it's just going to be annoying. And plus, getting it in and out is going to catch and just be annoying too. It doesn't open very easily, and I'm afraid if I decide to cut that open a little bit more so that it would open easily, it would also more easily come undone when you don't want it to. So I might not use that, probably won't, just because I do have some more of this seam material. I was thinking that I could just, you know, go ahead and glue a piece on like that somewhere in there, and then right about here cut it off and just leave this loose, and then I could put like a snap button on here, and then just have the corresponding piece go back on the back side of the cover, and then that would hold it in place. But I don't really have any of the snaps, so that'll be a after the video kind of project, I think. But for the most part, the journal part of this is done. It's just more of like how I want to customize it. What do you typically do with like a jean jacket or maybe something that's denim? It's like, well, you put like a patch or something on it. So I was looking through all these iron-on patches, and I found this one, and I thought that would look really cool. And other than the clasp, got my Wrangler jeans patch on there. I think that's pretty much going to be it. Other than, like I said, other than my closure, I might just take some kind of just a simple bands like that. All right, guys. Well, after further notice, I do have some of these buttons. So took a piece of our seam, riveted that button on there, and just glued it on with some of our handy dandy tacky glue there. Put a piece on the back that holds everything nice and closed. Nothing's gonna come open. Holds really good. Got our iron-on patch put on. That looks nice. I like the contrast between the two colors. And then we got our Wrangler jeans patch from the pants glued on. And then we got 4 different notebooks in there. And then I just glued a piece of the denim off of the pant leg on there. That way we got a place for our pen to stay put when we open it up. It's not going to fall out. It's got some of this red band material, just elastic. I thought about getting some more of the stuff like this, but I figured, well, if I'm going to get something that I'm going to make a band for to hold things, might as well make it elastic. So it's not quite as taut as I'd like, so I have to redo this. But thankfully, I have a ton of extra material. I found some on Amazon, and then I didn't realize that I ordered 50 yards. It was like 12 bucks, so it wasn't too bad of a deal. So I'm not too upset about that, but I think this turned out really cool. And one thing too, when I was looking on Amazon, I was thinking about getting some more of these notebooks, and then I looked into, obviously you search for them on Amazon and everything just comes up underneath, and they make these just plain Jane notepads. You get 12 of these, and they're 64-page notepads for $8, 12 for $8, or you get 5 of the field notes, 5 for $13, and they only have 48 pages, so you're getting a lot more bang for your buck on those. So I'll probably get some more of these in the future when I need to replace them. I think this turned out really cool, and I hope that it inspires you guys to go out and try to make something yourself. So with that said, I will see you guys later, and hopefully be back for the next video. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.